potential for it, perhaps, because we do have a Canadian Proto spawning on the right top side. And I know that he has a couple of very feisty, fancy builds. Let's see if we're going to see some of that magic. It is DisK.
Good music. And in the bottom left-hand side, it's the red Zerg, the Queen of Blades, Scarlett. Not as cool music, honestly. I think this comes in with a little bit of an edge.
Okay. I gotta say, Scarlett looked incredibly good in her series yesterday. Both Zombie Grub and Fear Dragon kind of believed in the chances of Silky. Scarlett just said, nope, I may lose a best of 3 against Neep, but that is pretty much where I draw the line. And that's why I'm kind of a, not a Debbie Downer, but I'm a bit of a doubter in this series. I just really feel that Scarlett still has an incredibly high level. And I think people sometimes underestimate how good Scarlett still is, because they only really see her in the GSL once every couple months. And it's like, oh, okay, that was a good run. But Scarlett is just, honestly, always very, very
good. She just
good.
eliminate a rogue casually, and then everyone goes back to forgetting about her a little bit. She is good. And yeah, I get what you're saying, Roddy. NA comes out with the crazy builds and styles, and it feels like more varied than EU, but at the same time, it's kind of like Latin America, right? It's usually Neve and Scarlett dominating everyone else. So so let's see if it mixes up at some point. I would love for it to start getting a little bit more in favor of the underdogs, the up-and-comers.
Yeah, I mean, we do have that new generation of players with Future and Australia. I think those two are super exciting. And hey, with Nemchar joining in the ranks as well, it's actually kind of cool because Nemchar may have not been really able to stand out in the European scene. He's always been a top contender, right? Like plenty of top 16s, once in a while a top 8. So Nemchar, when you put him in NA, I think all of a sudden he becomes a super serious force to be reckoned with. And I really wonder how he will do this season.
Yeah, also the threat of Dr. Dario. Of course, he's always capable of upsetting TLO. So yeah, maybe NA did get a little bit spicier. Let's see if DisK adds onto the bowl of spicy.
It's good to be a Stargate opening here on Everdream. Perhaps it has to do a little bit with the fact that this is a small map as well. And even though we can praise Scarlett for her amazing creep spread, we can praise her for her amazing macro, and we know that she is perfectly capable of playing some late game. We saw that when she went up against Neep. But Scarlett also likes to cheese every now and then, and sometimes she's just not in the mood for a long game. And I think on Everdream, having a Stargate as an opener is not a bad idea against Scarlett.
Yeah, most definitely. This Adept trying to go after the larva, but Scarlett will react by morphing it into drones. And the Zerglings will make sure the Adept does not get in. So, nice.
Wow. Okay, the Crypt Tumor actually went down there. Hey, that's a good start. I always feel really happy when my Adept picks off a Crypt Tumor.
Yeah. Do you feel the effect in the game? Like, does it... Or is it just a moral victory almost?
No, I do definitely think you notice it, especially if your follow-up strategy is to hit a strong mid-game timing. I think you always feel that the creep spread is indeed a little less than it normally is. But yeah, I think it's a big deal. Every Zerg player should normally tell you that it's a very big deal. You don't think so?
Oh, I do. I was just, from your perspective, it's harder, I think, because you don't get to feel the lack of energy, so you may not think it's I was curious how you perceive it, I guess.
Oh no, I see it as a big victory. I know Zerg players hate it a lot. For some reason there is no Spore Crawler at all in the main base, so this first Oracle of this actually got quite a bit of damage, but will it survive? Oh my goodness, Queens got nerfed, Oracles survive all of a sudden.
Brilliant. And yeah, this is really surprising. Scarlett scouted the Stargate in time that she could have had Queen spores. I mean, there wasn't a spore either at the natural, so surprising the risk here that she's taking.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, only 3 drones is not that bad, right? That could have been a lot worse, especially with the Queens being a little bit out of position as well. That could have easily been 5 or 6. But this is only the beginning for DisK. Now he's got 2 Oracles to work with, and he's gonna try to get some more damage. Activated Pulsar Beam there, which I'm a little bit surprised by.
Yeah. Will be shoot away from the third as there's too many Queens and Spores, but we'll try his luck now at the natural with his Adepts coming in as well and killing the Zerglings. There's nothing really to stand to the Adepts at this point.
Nope, I mean the queens are annoying, but the adepts can just avoid the queens for now. The circling count is just not high enough. Yeah, Scarlett does have an amazing economy already though, so losing a couple drones isn't that bad. And I gotta say, this is maybe not the damage that this was looking for. I felt like there was potential for more, but he's not done yet. And actually in the end, in the tail end of this attack, we're looking at 10 drones going down. Okay, that's suddenly quite doable.
Oh, that was so tense for a second there, because when you shade the adepts in the main and keep the adepts in the natural, I mean, if you have an Archon partner, great, but otherwise so difficult to control both and get damage. So DisK manages to do great there, focusing on the ones in the main towards the end, and yeah, that's good for him.
I feel Scarlett is playing a really greedy game, right? Up to 62 drones already, despite the fact that C has lost 13 drones. You can remember when I was going crazy earlier today, we were casting a PvZ and it was like 8 minutes in and it was like 49 against 46. Now we're 6 minutes in. Scarlett has lost like 12 or 13 drones and C's already at 68 drones. Like, what the hell is happening? Is this going to be just Swarm Host Roach? Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, I suppose so. There's the Nidus coming down. The creep spread would have come into effect if DisK had gone for a timing here. We can see that there's no creep near that fourth that Scarlett is attempting to take. But instead, it looks like it'll be DisK on the defensive. How do you feel about this Nidus, Roddy?
I think if DisK starts attacking immediately, this can actually turn out very well for him. But I think if DisK is just going to try to sit back and defend, I'm afraid that that's not going to get the job done. I think Scarlett is really good when she's just allowed to pile on the aggression and let her multitasking shine. So I'd almost love to see DisK go for a super quick move out. He's not really doing it yet. And now I'm afraid that we are eventually going to see these Nidus networks pop up and a lot of Locusts dealing an insane amount of damage.
Yeah, DisK is making Void Rays though, so he will have something to say on some areas, perhaps avoiding those Niduses in the main or something, but there's going to be a very strong positioned Nidus here at the third. This is already pretty annoying.
Man, almost counted. Swarmos count is already at 7. This doesn't he spot it and actually can gun it down with a couple of Swarmos out of it. Good force fields as well. Nice. Hey, I like it. That was a really cool play.
Well done. And Blink is about to be finished, so this is going to get easier for him.
The natural. Not again. What is it with run-bys and Everdream? Hello.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of Blinks will get in. Good crisis management so far by DisK. He has only lost 5 probes. And this was not too bad, Roddy. Well done.
Yeah, but the problem is that now the entire army is out of position, and this allows the next Nidus network to go up, and I think this time it's going to be a big wave of Locusts popping out of that Nidus network. Well, as soon as all the Swarmos get out, of course, and I'm afraid that it's not going to stay at 7 probes going down.
We'll see. It's not that many. Can the army deal with it, you think? How many probes go down here, Roddy? I'm going to say 3.
It depends on the 3. I think a little more than that, but we'll see. Well, with all the Stalkers actually soaking up the shots, no.
Oh god, still 9.
Even with the forward blink, 9 probes and maybe in a simulator, out of all things. At the same time, another run-by happens in the natural. What is happening on Everdream? Why is there no Protoss unit in this wall-off ever?
How difficult is it to do though, Roddy? Like constantly to keep a unit there in the chaos?
Well, I have an F2 addiction, but do you want to know my solution? This is actually 200 IQ. You'll be proud of this. Okay. So I F2 a lot, and then obviously run-by suck. So what you do is you get a shield battery, and then you put a probe on hold position in your ramp.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. No, it's actually very good. If you suffer from F2ing too much and run-bys always, kind of kick your butt, then that is a great way to deal with run-bys.
That's a great solution, Roddy. I love it. Oh, this Nexus is going to go down. Do you think he could have saved it with battery overcharge?
Well, against this many Swarmos, I'm not sure. If there was an army there as well helping out, then yes. Without an army, I say no. I have the feeling that DisK at this point is just like, well, a couple of run-bys, lost my Nexus, let's just go ahead and try to win this game. But Scarlett, during all of this, is maxed out. 9 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. Scarlett is so good, man. It's not even fun to play against her.
Yeah, and the next wave of Locusts is going to reset soon. So if DisK was going to go, he should have just gone. Now Lurkers are going to enter the fray as well. He has to be more decisive than this, certainly.
Yeah, maybe he's waiting for that wave of locusts to just kind of land, disengage, and then go immediately. But
Yeah.
now there is even going to be a couple of lurkers. Lurker range is on the way already as well. DisK is actually getting storm, which I find very surprising because he didn't even rebuild his Nexus yet at this point. So I thought he was just going to all in. Now he's kind of telling us that he maybe wants to macro. I don't know how realistic that is though.
I mean, against Scarlett, very difficult, I think, but I'm not sure that he would have broken her either.
Yeah, true. One of those moments where it's like, no choice is really the correct one.
Difficult for sure.
I feel like it just keeps on happening on this map in particular. The forward blink into the lurkers, but only a single lurker has gone down so far. Finally, the second lurker does fall, but that's obviously not a very cost-efficient trade there for DisK, who loses the majority of his army for basically 3 lurkers. And GG gets called. Scarlett will pick up a convincing game 1 victory. I wonder how this game would have played out if those run-bys don't happen. This was actually in an all-right spot, right? Especially after shutting down the first Nidus network.
Yeah, I would say so. It looked great. Also, that Swarmhose gets away, even though it was being chased by the Stalkers. And due to that, the second Nidus goes up because there wasn't really an Overlord or anything like that in range. I like the last play that DisK made though. To go for it while the lurkers were exposed was probably his best opening. Sadly, not enough.
You know, the opening that DisK went for, right, with the Adepts without Resonating Glaze, but with the Oracles, I feel like we've seen that build being used in the past, but sometimes instead of it being 4 Adepts as a follow-up, it's 6 or even 8 regular Adepts, right? Scarlett was actually playing very greedy in the early stages of this game, and if that Adept count would have been like higher by 4, I actually think you can just dive the Queens as well, and then I think DisK could have potentially run away with the game, because how greedy Scarlett was playing. Like every European Zerg is like shaking their head, is like, you're not supposed to do this, you're not allowed to get away with that kind of greed. But Scarlett did it.
Yeah, and DisK, to her credit, is a very macro-oriented player, and she probably knows that, right? Like, he usually goes for his 3-base setup, likes his disruptors, like we were talking about, and he is, like you said, a ladder hero. He ladders a lot, and that's the brunt of his experience. Not so much, I mean, you know, not so much tournament play. This is one of his first bigger appearances, right?
Yep, and I think it's super cool. I really felt that he had the level for quite some time to duke it out with the top of the NA scene. That's just not Neep and Scarlett, right? And I know that Australia and Future are getting better and stuff, but I still hold those 2 players to such a high standard that it's really hard to catch up to that level. But let's see what the man is made of here in Game 2. Game 1 wasn't all that bad. It's just the run-bys that really came back to haunt him. Let's see if I can clean it up over here on Ice and Chrome. This is DisK.
Looking like herself in game 1, it was, and this, Scarlett.
Of course, DisK still representing Root Gaming. Cats, can you talk to me about Root Gaming? What are they all about these days?
We're trying to do more hosting tournaments and stuff like that, which I'm not sure I can advertise here. But yeah, we've kind of eased off. We have a few streamers, but hardly competitive at this point. So DisK is one of our strongest players, and I feel like he is very talented. So I'm proud of this guy, and I hope that he can show what he's about here.
Yeah, he's a great streamer as well. It's kind of hard for me to really catch him too often because he streams in the middle of the night for me. But I've watched his stream a couple of times, and he's a very how would you say that? Like, I think he's very positive in general, right? He's a positive individual.
Really nice guy, good guy, wonderful beard as well. Have you seen it? It's long.
Yeah.
It's like a Ayagusi beard.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ayagus E, you know, like an Ayagus type beard. Yeah, I really like it.
All right. What are you hoping to see out of DisK here in Game 2?
Maybe some punishment for Scarlett if she's greedy again, or take it to his comfort zone. I mean, the Rambites, like you said, is what did him in. So if he can bring whatever he's going to bring to the table and do it as well as he did at the start, let's see if he can play from that position.
Yeah, I kind of feel like those kind of losses are the worst because in game one, like everybody's always gonna like just do a cheese, and you're like, no, I'm not just going to do a cheese that I'm not comfortable with against one of the best players in the region. So you just kind of want to see how your standard straight up macro game fares. But then you didn't really get a shot to actually test it because you didn't lose because of your build or because of your macro. You lost because of something as silly as not having a unit in your wall-off.
Yeah, definitely. And this might sound silly, Roddy, but I feel like players in tournaments will super try hard, right? And do the things that they don't often do in the ladder. Like sometimes in the ladder, I'm too lazy to go for a Rambai or something like that. But in a tournament, I'm really trying to focus on doing all of those little things, right? So that can really make things more difficult for DisK.
Yep, we see an Adept going into the main base. DisK obviously just wants to make sure that he doesn't get cheesed over here. And like I said in the previous game, even though Scarlett, her macro play is absolutely fantastic, we've seen Scarlett cheese plenty of times in the past. And sometimes just in general, that is a pretty quick lair on the side of Scarlett, I'd say. Like 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Bly would be proud of that.
Maybe they've talked about it even. But yeah, and DisK is unaware, so that's a problem for him. He has the night information on his side of the map at the same time, so there is the Twilight Archives going up, Twilight Council rather.
Going to be another Stargate opening. This time is indeed a very quick Twilight follow-up. Scarlett is doing nothing but building drones at this point, knowing it's not Oracle for us, but it's Phoenix. And I think a Phoenix is all that Scarlett really needs to see to build a lot of drones. But this time, that is very quick resonating glaives, and it's already being chrono boosted out as well. Is that Stargate even being used for anything else at this point? No, it's just that single Phoenix. I kind of like it. You asked to punish the greed? Well, DisK is going for it.
Yeah, and he's playing off of his reputation. I think this is like what you called a fake third for the most part, right? Or is he not committing as hard as he should? He's making probes.
No, I think he's going to go up to 44 probes, and then it should just be 8 gate resonating glaives at depths. That's what I'm expecting here, at least.
That's what I want to see, Roddy. Only 3 gases, so that would be consistent with that. I don't think he's planning for much of a transition at the moment. A row, I imagine, just for the Warp Prism, right?
Yeah, exactly. At this point, the gateway count is actually not that high, so maybe DisK is not playing this that all-in. Now even getting a shield battery, which kind of screams defense. Maybe the target is just to get a good scout, kind of keep the Zerg player in the dark a little bit, and then at the same time just kind of play a normal game, because this is a lot of adepts for the 5-minute mark after a Stargate opening.
Ah, nifty. I see. So he has been not missing any of his warping cycles. I like this actually because it gives him such a strong macro transition. Let's see if Scarlett overreacts.
Well, I think there's no overreacting. At this point, Scarlett better reacts very seriously because at this point it's 9 Zerglings and 6 Queens. That is obviously not enough to fight all of these adepts with resonating glaives. Where are the roaches? Even 1 or 2 roaches are not really going to help you out that much over here.
All right, this is a great start for DisK. Most of the army of Scarlett is here. The Queens are slowly making their way to the other side, and these things are not going to survive for long against those adepts. Immortals being produced behind this. I love it.
I felt like there was some more potential, though. When you have this many adepts knocking at the front door, and all that Scarlett had was 9 Zerglings at one point. I think there's a lot of potential. Now DisK is going for some of that potential as 5 more drones fall. And I think leaving 2 adepts behind here to get a few more drone kills wouldn't be that bad, even though they're super low on HP. But hey, 9 more drones with wave 2. All of the adepts do go down, but DisK is up 6 workers right now.
Yeah, and he killed so many Zerglings as well, Roddy, because Scarlett had to throw Zerglings instead of drones, right? So really good trades all in all for DisK. And like I said, he's ready with the transition for the Immortals. I really hope that he tries to capitalize on this, that he doesn't go for the very late game that he's used to, because I feel like he has the means to lean on it. What do you think?
Oh, I feel like we're getting somewhere. I feel like we have a game on our hands. It's just important that DisK's follow-up scouting is going to be good. Getting multiple shield batteries, maybe that's slight overkill, right? But like, yeah, you did good so far, but you're not really under any immediate pressure, so maybe it's better to get your infrastructure in place and really get everything else going. But since it's kind of the same stuff coming out of Scarlett here in game 1, I think it's all about denying that first and second Nidus network from growing up, right? I think if DisK is able to do that, he's going to be in a great position.
So you don't think he should be out on the map right now? You don't think he should be pushing into Scarlett?
I can understand why he's a little afraid to do so. It wouldn't be a bad call, obviously, at all, because then you could maybe force the Swarm host to use their first wave of Locusts defensively, but I understand why he's being a little passive at this point, just waiting for this extra gate to finish up and actually adding a Warp Prism to your army as well.
Yeah, I guess if he's very confident that he can shut down the first wave here, then that's okay. I really like move-outs personally against the Swarm host. Nice.
And that is just the perfect way to start his defense, right? That Knight has got shut down before it was even halfway done. And at this point, DisK obviously knows that, like, hey, I've been here before. This time, is there a unit in the wall up? Yes, there is. There is a Zealot in that natural. Just check it. Now, there is some potential here for DisK for sure. He's played a good game up to this point. Once again, found some decent damage. Let's see where he takes it. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Does the Phoenix see it? Yeah, the Phoenix does see it. Does DisK have enough units to shut it down, though?
I'm not sure.
Not really
It's gonna go up for sure. Does he have to recall here, Roddy? I think so.
Or you just try to win the game with your Stalkers and Sentries, but it is important that DisK plays properly. Attention, loses a couple of units before this party even starts. Scarlett, I don't think is going to use all of her Swarm most, realizing that she's going to need a couple of the Locusts defensively as well. But guys, this is getting pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Locusts are gonna push this back, but he still has to deal with these ones on the other side. Let's see what this is able to do. If he can shut this wave down, I think he's in a fantastic position, but it's gonna be difficult.
Yep, this Nexus is most likely going to go down. Is the Robo going to fall as well? That's kind of what I wonder about. No, the Robo will live. A lot of probes go down, so at this point, DisK is like, all right, I'm kind of on the clock. I feel like I need to get more damage done here. At least pick up one hatchery on the side of Scarlett as well. And with this amount of Stalkers, yeah, with these amount of Stalkers, it should be possible.
I'm surprised Scarlett is even pushing forward. I feel like it's DisK who should be pushing forward and blinking on top of this. Maybe too much respect for Scarlett or for the potential Swarm host. Now he's gonna have to back away one more time.
And there's still a lot of Ravages as well. The Warp Prism goes down. That is disastrous. There are now more Locusts coming in as well. And DisK's army is going from 100 to 0 real quick.
Yeah, he really eager to fight the Locusts. I feel like he could have just waited them out, but he felt like the pressure to make something happen right now. I'm gonna go in and snipe a few Ravagers, but man, I think that might just be it.